So there it is, my apc40 Ableton. Just finished mapping it out, and I've got my basic scenes over here. I got that master scenes. That those master scenes are actually going to be these 24 buttons right here. So if you look over there and you see there's my master scenes, and they just keep going through there through the different lights. I've still got to set up all the different lights, but I mean all the different scenes for all the different groups. But for the most part, this guy is mapped out. What I did here, these banks, 1, 2, 3. What I did is I set those up so I have individual control over here, because every time you press one of these, it gives you separate knobs. So there's 8, well, including 9. There's 9. So in 9 different banks. That means I have 8 knobs, so 72 basically. So I just use them in pairs of pairs of 2s. So I've got a bank of 4, so I can actually individually control my pan and tilt on 4 units at a time. So see here, I only have 6 of them, so I put them on 2 separate banks. These 7 R's, which are sky beams, so I've got 4 of those, so I'm using, this is for 1, this is for 2, it's 3, 4. And over here I set some reset stuff. I just kind of use this as a blackout. What it does is when I hit it once, it turns on. When I hit it again, it turns off. And then these are it resets all the manual edits I do when I'm in live mode. And that's that reset button right there. And then I set up a standby, so all my fixtures, my moving heads are at 128. Well, I put 128, but it's usually 127, but I do 128. And this is a clear all button, which basically it takes all the turns off all the buttons. And over here, let's see, I have my Fargo control, and I have my my dimmer, my 4-channel dimmer. So I have direct access to it, and I set up a couple of direct buttons for the dimmer. And I also have this next button, and I use this one for a lot for most of these, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit over here. But anyway, it does the same function as these green buttons right here. So over here, I set these up as a bank of color, a row of colors. So I'm going to put a scene for the 4 main scenes here, and then 4 different positions or moving patterns. And I did that for my 4 sets of different lights that I'm going to do. And then this is my LED can, so I'm going to set this guy up. These, I guess you can't change the color on these, and you can't. And this one, I guess apparently doesn't even have a color, but it does the same function as the rest of these. So so what this next button does is I programmed it. If you look over there, and if we can see me pressing the button, you can see where it goes from, it just goes to the next scene. So I have access to all of my scenes on that group of colors, and I have direct access to the first 4. So these are going to be my main 4 color groups. Depending on what I'm doing, I could just change them around, do whatever, do chases or fades, or just solid color scenes. And up here, these are my standby buttons. So this goes into standby there. And the way this is going to work is the master scenes are just basically just a bunch of jump to scenes that I've selected, different different scenes in each group, and you'll see kind of just a basic set. So let's say well, here, let's start off over here. There, that's the all clear button, so there's nothing being pressed. And then from there, if I put it in standby mode, so that's, so that centers all my moving heads and turns all these in standby, so I can have access to either my next. Because otherwise, if you don't have that on and you're not selecting a light, the next won't work. It won't let you do it. So put your standby mode, and if you hit your next, it'll cycle through all your different scenes in that group. So you can go back direct to it. Now if you go to one of your master scenes, and so you just press it, like this one, I just turned on everything, making it all white and everything pointing down. And this one, I just kind of picked some just to see, so you can see the difference. And you can toggle back and forth, and then you have direct access to if you want to change the color of this head, or if you want to change the color of this group, or you want to, maybe I'll put a strobe right here on these moving heads, and the color wheel change or whatever. You can change those, and then if you decide you want to go back to your master scene, you just got to press this twice, and it puts you back to the way it was originally. Now, if you want to go back and you want to start over in standby, you hit this guy, and you're back on standby. Everything's off, and you could just hit another master scene. And these I haven't programmed yet. I just got them as just did the MIDI mapping for them. But I'll be setting up all these so I'm going to have 24 master scenes. So that's going to be pretty cool. Make my life a lot easier. And then for the faders, I set up a zoom and a strobe. I think I'm going to use this more for programming purposes, just so I can get to these a lot easier. And I was thinking about these, the focus on this. I was thinking about changing that to the gobos, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. But so I have direct access to all the strobes here of all my moving heads, and my my LEDs. I can just do that over here, and also I can change them over here where I have direct access to the strobing, like on I think it's on 5. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, that's my work so far. Let me know if you like it, or if anybody has any, or if anybody has any ideas or tips or tricks or anything like that. But anyway, so far I'm kind of liking this.